Give me just a minute, guys. Okay. Ha. All right. Now let me pin that. All right. All right. There we go. All right. So I don't know if Blind is joining. I don't know who else is joining, but last week's episode and this week's last week's episode was really part of the week before's episode, right? Episode 6. Episode 7 really is part of episode 6. Muse. The Muse episodes. Those two episodes focus on Muse, right? This episode 8 is finally this episode focuses on Matt discovering the truth about who thinks killed Foggy, who killed Foggy, Bullseye, Ben Poindexter, Kingpin, what he's planned, what he's all that, right? That's so. So I'm gonna start with the first episode, episode 7. Okay. All right. At best of my knowledge, if I can remember. I mean, I remember it. Episode 7. Muse is on the run, right? His lair was discovered, right? His lair was discovered, right? Where he did his crimes, where he committed his murders in art, graffiti, whatever, where, right? Discovered. Now he's on the run. Yeah. The police are at his lair. Daredevil looks for his lair. Does detective work at his lair to make sure he's in the lair with the police not when the police are not checking anything to make sure to hide outside, right? But and we finally get to reveal that who Muse's name is Sebastian, right? Sebastian, same actor, the Adams Family in season 1. Not Adams, well, Wednesday in season 1. Same actor who played the villain in season 1. The villain's love interest of Jenna Ortega's Wednesday in season 1 of Wednesday, right? It turned out to be like some sort of ghoul or some sort of monster in the villain. One of the villains. And this same actor plays a villain again. He plays Muse, the serial killer, the graffiti artist serial killer. All right. And so this episode is and as we know in the first episode, Sebastian in a civilian clothing, as a civilian, was at a book signing and a book reading of Matt Murdock's girlfriend, Heather, right? Heather, right? And he asked her to set up an appointment. Now, why did he set up an appointment? Why did he want an appointment for? Because she saw her as his next target. Okay, and he's infatuated with her, and she was going to be her next target. That was all set up in season 1, and it didn't happen until 6 episodes later. We saw the result of that, right? So yeah, set up an appointment during the day right? He has an appointment with Daredevil's girl, right? Girlfriend, who who and Matt, who has clearly is not a fan of masked people. She's anti. She's anti-mask, right? She believes that anybody wearing a mask or vigilantism is doing it for selfish reasons or hiding something. She's very anti or messed up in the head. She's very like interested in psychology, but believes that they're hiding something, right? And they're and Matt has not told her that she's Daredevil, and there are just a philosophical differences when it comes to mask, right? Oh my God, what am I doing? Where is everybody? I just see sideways and our ironic ridge. Where is where is where is red? Where's 56K? Where's blinded? Where's my gang? Where is my gang, guys? Like this is really, come on, guys. Uh, I'm kidding. All right, let's get back to this. So, in episode 7, and Fisk, the mayor, they want to downplay the reports of a serial killer. I mean, they don't want to downplay the reports. They just don't want to make a commotion out of. Oh, there's a sane serial killer loose in New York. Everybody should be afraid. To make it a big deal. They want to keep it kind of on a down low, so nobody will freak out, right? So nobody will freak out about a deranged serial killer who uses blood for art, human blood for art. He wants to keep in-house quiet. Okay, so the people of New York don't freak out. Don't get scared, right? Which I think is the right thing to do, because you don't want a city, the population of citizens to be freaked out. They just got to be aware, but I want to say be freaked out, scared, understandably. Okay, right? And now the police, they don't exactly agree with they don't exactly agree with Fisk, but they can't do anything. They have to do what he says because He is the mayor, and the chief is kind of being blackmailed, right? And he's forced to do what Fist asks because the chief is afraid that if he doesn't do what he asks, that Fist will reveal the truth that he has like illegitimate son or something. I forget, but whatever. Something that's scandalous, right? That he wants to keep. All right. All right. You guys talk, man. Talk. All right. Slow day, guys. Slow day. Well, I guess we'll talk about something bigger tomorrow because this is really boring because nobody's talking. I need people in the chat. I need blinded. I need people. Where's my okay. So, will Punisher be in an episode? Yeah, I guess. I assume so. All right. Now with Muse, right? He's having a session with Daredevil, Matt Murdock's girl, the doctor, the psychiatrist, the whatever, and he's telling her about her life. And while this is going on, the detectives, the police got information, have a file on who Muse really is and his life growing up, and he has a rap sheet, right? A long rap sheet too. So this guy's been troubled for a long time. Okay, and he was telling her story, his life, growing up, his parents, what his dad forced him to do. He wanted his dad forced him to take taekwondo. Then like he wanted to be an artist, but all he wanted to do was art. But his parents didn't allow him. Parents didn't think that was manly enough. They want him to take taekwondo. They're forcing him to do things, and it turned him psychotic. It's clearly he grew up in a very strict, possibly abusive household. That's what I got out of it with that. All right. And as he was telling the story to Matt's girl, I like calling her Matt's girl, started to get the atmosphere, the eeriness of yeah. In the comics, Moose is inhuman, and but they don't have inhumans in here, right? So obviously, there's a reason why. As he kept talking, you could tell the mood of the session was changing. The eeriness, the atmosphere was changing, and he's to more of to show, oh my god, this guy is really deranged, psychotic, and sociopathic, and she got the sense of that, um, and things did not go well for her. He knocked her out, right, and then had her tied up to the chair. Had all the tools he needed to take out the blood, like he does in his lair, so he can use for his art. Also, he put on the Muse mask. He put on the Muse costume, and he does not like to be called Sebastian. When he calls Sebastian, he does not like to be called Sebastian. He does not like his name. He likes to be called Muse. Obviously, this kid grew up in a negative atmosphere, in a negative world, shaping him to be some sort of a psychopath or sociopath, whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care. Still, this is insane, insane person, and this messed up, psychotic person, whatever. Okay, and he was going for the blood, doing what he does, and then Daredevil out of nowhere arrives. Battles of Muse, right? Very, heavy kind of violence battle, right? Uh, I think Daredevil even used, what is it? His hook shot, whatever it is, on him, and it kind of went through his shoulder, and you see some of the blood splat. But in the end, Muse looks like he was ready to go out. Muse looks like he got the upper hand, was ready to go get after Heather. But Heather managed to escape and pull up. There was a gun there, right? There was a pistol there. And managed to shoot Muse about 2 or 3 times and flat in the chest. But it looks like goes down to the ground floor of the office of her office, and looks like he's dead, bleeding to death, right? Right? Point blank in the chest, 2 or 3 times. I think it was 3 times. Well, not 1 time, but it was at least 2 or 3 times. From my memory serves me right, it was like 3 times. Okay. And Muse is dead apparently. And well, the thing is, Daredevil managed to escape before the cops got there because of the anti-vigilante unit, right? They got there. Now, before Fisk got there, he confirmed, one of them confirmed that Daredevil's back. He's back. Then later on, Fisk got there with the dead muses, right? With dead muse, and they decided to cover it up by saying it's anti-vigilante who stopped Muse, not Daredevil, right? Because if it turns out Daredevil was the one that stopped them, the citizens in New York will favor Daredevil over the mayor, right? They'll cheer him on, they'll praise him more over the mayor. So Mayor Fisk decided to cover up and say the anti-vigilante unit stopped him, not Daredevil. Also, it got to a point where BB Urich and forgetting his name. Shit. Their friendship is definitely tainted because he kind of black. I forget the name, but he just got promoted in episode 8. Okay. All right. And he did not like obviously that he accidentally leaked it and she reported it. And then he kind of blackmailed her, Daniel. Daniel kind of blackmailed BB Yorick and telling that lie about the anti-vigilante unit stopping Muse instead of Daredevil. Um, and so their relationship is obviously strained, and we'll probably get to a point where they're not going to be friends anymore. It's going to happen. It's going to get to a point where BB and Daniel are not going to be friends. Daniel's going to be reading too much into, he's falling too much into loving Kingpin to a point where he's basically, he's a simp. A loyalist, a simp, he's someone, like that, right? And his loyalty to King the Fist is kind of sickening. All right? He agrees with everything Fist says, does. He's a, what can I say? What can I say this? This is not nicely. He's a kiss ass. He's an ass kisser at Fist. Yeah, I call him an ass kisser. Because that's what he is. He's an ass kisser. He puckers up and kisses his boss's ass. Don't like it? Too bad. Well, there's people like that, right? And he's clearly one of them. He's a fucking ass kisser, Daniel, right? He agrees with everything that Fist does. Everything Fist does is Fist could do no wrong. Yes, man is the best way to explain it. Yeah. I mean, I guess saying an S kisser is a little bit more harsh, maybe more of like an assaulting way, but he is basically a yes man. Yeah. He is a yes man. Everything Fist says or does, he just agrees with. And he's like, oh, we're all day, all night. I'll do this for you. I'll do that for you. I'm your biggest fan. No. Yeah, that's what Daniel is. All right? And Wilson Fisk has a mask of Muse and it goes to the press conference, tells everybody the defeat of Muse has been defeated. They caught the killer has been killed, and whatever, right? And then we get a shot of Heather waking up in the hospital with Matt there, and Heather has guilt about killing Sebastian. Well, Muse has guilt, says she killed a man. So basically, she's framed it like she has guilt. She clearly feels guilt for killing Sebastian, despite him wanting to kill her. Oh yes, man. Okay. I know Muse is not and confirmed to be in season 2. I do wish he had like 4 or 3 episodes with him and done more with him. Well, yeah, you know what? I'm not sure if he is in season 2 or not. I thought people said it's gonna be season 2, but I don't see how he could come back. I mean, it is Marvel; they technically could come back from the dead, but I think what it could be, Flash. I think it could be like Muse is haunting haunting Heather in her dreams and nightmares, stuff like that. Living with the guilt of because she's living with the guilt of killing him. I don't know. Maybe that's the reason why he might be in season two. Maybe not because the character itself is going to be evolved in that way. Just maybe in her nightmares or dreams or stuff like that. Hallucinations. I don't know. Um, let's get to episode 8, shall we? The episode, the episode before the finale next week. This might be a short stream today because if Blind is not here, I don't know. I might do a short stream, very short stream. Now this episode 4, a lot of reveals today. Reveals. Okay, a lot of things adding together, coming together in this episode just before the finale. A lot of things. We find out that Bullseye was in protective custody at Rikers, but he's been moved out of protective custody, and there's reasons why we'll get to why he was moved out of protective custody at Rikers. Okay, reasons why. It's also revealed that Wilson Fisk, has finally the relationship husband and wife. Definitely husband and wife relationship. They see them on the same page. They worked everything out. They're on the same page. Vanessa and Wilson on the same page. The power couple once again in good communication. They're no nothing bad, right? They decided to work things out and what's best for New York and what's best for whatever business. And he takes her to where Adam is hiding. Adam is hiding, and obviously, I knew this was going to happen. She wasn't gonna let him go. She wasn't gonna let him go free. All right. She made sure. She made sure, right? She made sure because of the alliance she has with Fisk. She just shoots. She shoots Adam 3 or 4 times, killing him in the cell that Fisk had for her. Fisk had for Adam. For her. No. We also get to a point where Matt and Beth, Heather, you're having a little bit of issues. Not a little bit, a lot of issues. Talking about their differences still on masks and vigilantes, people with masks. Like, obviously, she's not for it, but he kind of is because he's Daredevil, but she's not for it. But it gets to a point where the doorbell ring, the knock on, there's a knock. I think it's her place, right? Not his place. So a knock on her door at her place, and it was Fisk's. What's the guy's name? The guy becomes Owl. Has it become Owl? What's the guy's name? The shady guy. The guy. What's his name again? The guy. The shady member of his cabinet. That guy. You know what I'm talking about. Not Daniel, but the other guy. What the fuck is his name again? Uh, I forget his name, but he's very shady. I'm talking about. Fisk and Vanessa are having like a ball, a function, that you get to get kind of thing. We're inviting invite some of the top people in New York over with, and there's a cash to that. There is a motive to that. Yeah, the one who gave Heather the invitation letter. Yeah, that guy. The beginning. Yeah, and there was an invitation to right, and it was Fisk invited her to to honor her, to commend her for her bravery and taking down Moose and taking down Moose and right and Matt did not like that. Matt is like, why are you doing this? Were you being invited by Fisk and all this? It's like and then first two and two together that Fisk and Vanessa are her clients, patients, whatever clients. But he doesn't specifically say they're your clients, aren't they? She didn't specifically answer yes or no because technically it is they're not allowed, right? They're not allowed to say that, no, even if it's your boyfriend. She's not allowed. It's client confidentiality, right? She can't say, yeah, I'm seeing it. I'm not seeing. I'm their doctor. You can't say that, even to Daredevil, even to Matt. But Matt knows it's a yes, right? Matt knows it's a yes. It's obvious. He didn't like that, man. He doesn't like that. Okay. Now Matt goes back to his law firm, and there's this guy who wants to hire him, but for sketchy purposes. And Matt's like, no, I'm not going to do this. Buck Cashman. This is a great name. Buck Cashman's a great name. Because this guy is like, right? This guy just wants to. This guy wants to hire the Murdoch law firm, but for nefarious purposes, for shady purposes. It's like he wanted to hire. It's like one of those one of those people who just want to hire a lawyer, and they think a lawyer will take on a lawyer that'll take on anything just to get a quick buck. Those scummy lawyers that they think they can hire. Well, Matt Murdock is not that, right? Also, it turns out Bullseye or Poindexter wants to see Matt Murdock. He is associate and a fixer. Okay, fixer. Yeah. Okay. So he ends up going. He doesn't really want to go to Rikers, but he ends up going to Rikers in an interrogation room with Bullseye. Obviously, he doesn't want to be there. He's frustrated. He's mad. But Bullseye wants to make a deal and wants him to actually represent him and stuff on something right. He's trying to get into Matt Murdock's head, right? And Matt wants to know who hired you to kill Foggy. Now it's quite obvious somebody hired Bullseye to kill Foggy, and that person wants Bullseye killed just because. Well, Fisk is the mayor, and Vanessa is the wife of the mayor, the first lady of the mayor of New York. If Ben Poindexter, he could let the cat out of the bag and say, yeah, it was Wilson or her that hired me to kill Foggy. And that could definitely set an impeachment on Wilson Fisk, and then a trial, and then arrest. And so they want to make sure to get him killed, right? Wilson Fisk wants to make sure he dies, right? Because he could reveal everything and ruin the kingpins and Vanessa rule over New York, right? Even if you don't believe him, but Matt will believe that, and he does believe is Wilson Fisk. He doesn't tell him, but he wants to tell him. But Matt is like, right? He wants to tell Matt, but he wants Matt Murdock to, I forget what it was, sunlight or something. And Matt just smashes his head into the table 3 times. But Bullseye had an alternative motive, a plan, why he got Matt there, right? Now we see Bullseye being worked on in the infirmary, right? And he had something in his. The doctor make sure to open up his teeth, and he has stuff in his teeth, and he just spits out something so sharp into the doctor's eye or face and eye, and then he takes like these two scissor-like things and throws it at the guard. At the guard. No, he doesn't spit in the doctor's eye. He spits in the guard. He spits the thing into the guard. Then he takes these scissor things and throws one of them, I believe, at the guard to finally kill him, and then at the doctor. And then he manages to escape by putting on a Viker security guard corrections officer's uniform and takes the bus, right? Takes the correction officer's bus out of Vikers. Um, season 3, maybe. All right? While this is going on, the event the Fists were hosting was going on, right? And there's a lot of things going on in this event. A lot of things, right? So Matt was late. She figured Heather figured Matt wasn't going to come, right? She figured Matt wasn't going to come, okay, at all. Also, we got like storylines. We see Swordmaster, Tully Dawn's character, and it is revealed he is Swordmaster, becomes Swordmaster because at a vigilante, and Fist kind of blackmails him. That he figures out that Swordmaster is the guy. I forget his name in the show, but figured right. So he kind of blackmails him, and that's when Matt finally arrives, and he hears over conversations. Yeah. Why he spits in the tooth at the guard and he breaks the visitors and throws it at the doctor was insane. Yeah, right. So, all right. Um, yeah, and then yeah, and that's what happens. I actually something came up. I have to go. I'm sorry. Nothing major. It just um has my attention. I have to go right now, guys. Nothing major, but it does need my attention. Later, guys.